Hey everybody, it's Sue with Century 21 Leading Edge here, and I am so excited to be doing a tour with the designer of my latest listing at 69 Scugog Point Crescent. You will definitely be impressed. Let me introduce the designer, Paul Malikowski. Here's Paul.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is an absolute honor for me to present to you one of my latest projects, which we're standing in right now. So let us take you on a tour through basically what we've been working on here. I was touching on the island in terms of the waterfall feature down the side. The wonderful thing about the waterfall treatment is, aside from it giving the island itself sort of a contemporary treatment, it also gives you the opportunity to showcase more of the material itself, in this case, which we have Caesar stone. I'm going to be mentioning a lot of buzzwords during the presentation. By all means, feel free to jot them down and Google them later, because they'll definitely make for some interesting things to sort of pull up on the internet. So one of the things I love about waterfall countertops, and you will as well, is not only do you showcase the beautiful material down the side, but it does become an area that's very durable. So if you're ever worried about things bumping into the corners that usually will chip your cabinet corners, you need not worry about that here, because it's just super durable stuff, and it just finishes the end beautifully. So as we walk through this kitchen itself, there's so many features in here that I just love to talk about. So the island itself being super deep, a lot of counter space to work with, you have this really large sink. And a lot of clients always ask me if I prefer a double sink or single. I love single bowl sinks just because think about all those times you can't fit a watermelon into your sink and it just doesn't fit in that oversized pan. You don't have that issue here whatsoever. And the cool thing about this sink itself is it has an integrated drying rack that can also be converted into a cutting board that actually fits with the sink and right into it. So that's just one of the features there. And you've got your water filter, basically your handheld spout. The other cool thing about this kitchen, got basically pullouts galore. So this pullout here specifically is for oils and vinegars and things like that. And it lines up everything. The great thing I love about this is, unlike certain pullouts, this one is actually adjustable. So you can move these racks up or down. You've got a convenience outlet here, so if you want to put a KitchenAid mixer or any sort of appliance, you've got that option. Naturally, kitchens, soft close drawers where they don't slam. You'll notice in this kitchen there's a lot of drawers. The great thing about the drawers, hot drawers that is nicely laid out, organized. Fun to be able to sort of see everything laid out. And of course, everybody loves your pull-out spice drawers. Do you ever remember those moments where you're trying to find that one spice, can't find it, you're rummaging around in the cabinet? How nice would it be to have everything laid out? You can see where everything is. And again, just like that other pull-out, these tracks can actually be moved up or down depending on the height. So if you have, if you go to Costco, for instance, you buy those oversized spices that may not fit, you need not worry there because you can move them around. And the great thing is you can put all your narrow height ones on one side, and move the racks, and they're interchangeable. Here, of course, the creme de la creme of any chef's kitchen, you have basically your pro range. But the great thing about this is there's so many ranges in the market, and clients are always asking me which ones do I recommend. It's really hard to say which I would recommend. We chose this one based on the fact that each of the burners, with the exception of this being the simmer, these are 25,000 BTU burners. The average range usually puts out about anywhere from 8,000 to 18,000 BTUs, so you're going to get a lot of power out of this thing. You know, you've got your griddle, basically mornings, basically doing breakfast on weekends if you want to do grilled cheese. A lot of fun to work with this. Pancakes for those who love them. Bacon, what Canadian household would have bacon? Pot filler. This is one of those features that until you have one, you won't realize how much you love it. Because think about having a really tall pasta pot, not having to drag it back and forth when it's full of water because it becomes really heavy and awkward. This is such a great convenience feature, you'll absolutely love it. One of the features as well that I want to point out here is the vent hood. Now what's really unique about this, aside from the fact that obviously it's incredible in terms of the aesthetic and the look, is if you look up under here, you'll notice that there aren't any of the typical sort of grill kind of baffle filters, what it's known as. The great feature about this is it's super quiet, super easy to maintain. Quiet is obviously pro number one. Pro number two is the fact that to clean the inside of this, aside from wiping it down, because this is all stainless steel in here, these two pieces come out, they just get thrown in the dishwasher and washed by hand. Super quiet, super easy to maintain. Can't say enough great things about it. Vent-A-Hood, another buzzword. As for the range, Capital Pro. This is made in the US. Another cool thing I want to point out is this is an open burner range. So the nice thing about it is if you ever have any spillover on a gas stove, say something's overboiled and it spills and it burns into the cooktop, you're not going to have that here. So the great thing about an open burner range is everything will actually spill onto here. So you have basically these trays where it collects, and that way basically you don't have to worry about anything burning into the stove, and this stays actually cool here. It's the stove top itself that's hot. These grates themselves go into the dishwasher. Again, the whole premise of this kitchen, aside from aesthetics, just have something very easy to maintain. Another feature that I love, and I would totally do this again, is this countertop is Caesar stone, as all the countertops are. The backsplash itself is actually one large slab of Caesar stone as well. No grout lines, nothing to contend with. You can throw anything you want at it, sauces, anything you name. Like this is a true working kitchen. And the residents of this home do a lot of cooking. Obviously, 2 ovens, 6 burgers, you name it. Tons of cooking that goes on here, hence this beast of a range hood. So this is so easy to maintain because you literally just wipe it down. You don't have to worry about scrubbing grout or any of that stuff. Some cool features on the island as well is here you have your dishwasher that's integrated. So integrated Miele dishwasher, waste bin, recycle compartment. You've got your secret drawer here basically in terms of where you would have your accessories. So you name it. The features just keep going on and on. Now one of the things that I really love as well is if you're ever wondering what to do with all your trays and baking sheets in terms of how to store them neatly, this is a great feature that a lot of people thinking about would absolutely love it. So we call this in the kitchen industry a tray divider. So the cool thing about this is normally things will topple over and be hard to get to. The beauty of this is you stand here with a ladder and you just grab a tray and pull it off. And everything's literally organized for you perfectly. I mean, what better than that, basically, especially in terms of the ideal organized kitchen. And the cool thing about this is in terms of this kitchen being designed around a chef as well as a family home, is we have this stove here that's an absolute beast, but the kitchen itself has other roughing features for future appliances. So for instance, what is currently functioning as the pantry, this area here is actually roughed in for a future wall oven, and there's the opportunity to put in a built-in microwave here if you wanted to. So the idea of the kitchen is to be versatile. There is the walk-in pantry, which I'm going to show you right through here. So in the walk-in pantry, the homeowners decided to keep basically the majority of the appliances and such in here. The great thing about this is you have everything, again, is easily accessible laid out. So when you don't want to see it necessarily, you've got a pocket door here. You basically close it off, and obviously if you want to leave it open, basically take a look to see. We have a secondary freezer in here as well. If you want to basically stock up on your Costco purchases and so on, so that's a great feature as well. And there's ample space in here in terms of tons of storage space, food, your additional appliances. What I really love about walk-in pantries is you don't have to go rummaging into corners of cabinets trying to pull things out to sort of find what you have. So that's one of the great things that I love about that, just ease of being able to get to things. One of the really cool things about this kitchen is if you actually look up, you'll notice that the cabinets themselves are stacked. What we've done here is we've taken advantage of the really high ceilings, the unique architectural features of this house. Unlike any other, the ceiling itself is a pitch ceiling that continues all the way up. So we wanted to do something that paid homage to the architecture of the house itself and kind of really elaborated and emphasized the fact that we have the very tall ceilings. And so we have basically multiple tones. You have your base cabinets in your tall unit here in one tone. And the idea with the white for the upper cabinets basically blends with the backsplash itself. And what that does is it sort of helps pull everything together in terms of a harmonious color scheme. Another really cool thing I have to show you, if you take a look, you'll notice that in this kitchen, you see how there's under cabinet lighting? You notice how there's no typical strip like you normally see in most kitchens? So the cool thing here, you're going to notice this unless you open the doors. These cabinets themselves have been engineered so that when the door's closed, you actually don't see this panel underneath. And the nice thing about the panel is from the underside, there's an actual aluminum extrusion. So if you look at the underside of all the cabinets, no wires, nothing unsightly, everything's clean, tucked away, totally hidden. So the premise with that is when you're sitting on your sofa and you look up at the underside of your cabinets, the last thing you're going to want to do is see exposed wires. It just gives you a very clean, sleek overall space. The cool thing about this island too is when you look at where the seating is on the backside, you notice that we have the decorative doors on the back of the island. So they do two things. These doors actually finish the back of the island nicely in terms of sort of a furniture effect. But this is actually a storage compartment as well. So because we have this super deep island, you typically don't find most kitchens, but we have the space here to work with. These doors are actually on a spring-loaded mechanism where the doors themselves open and close. One thing about this that I absolutely love is if you ever have a really items that basically normally get lost in a deep cabinet in the kitchen, the cool thing here is you can lay everything out in a straight row, so it's really easy to find things like water bottles, excess things that you need to put somewhere but you don't use them often, but you want to basically put them all in a straight row. So I can't say enough great things about that in terms of having that storage on the backside of the island. The tile itself that you see in the kitchen, so the inspiration behind this kitchen is sort of chic, sort of Montauk meets basically sort of I would say kind of an industrial sort of feel. So the tile itself, this is a porcelain 24 by 24 inch tile straight laid. The idea here is this is designed to look like cement. Cement itself emulates basically the effect of the countertop itself. So the idea is there's a consistent sort of flow through the entire house. So the idea of the house is very light. You see the sunlight right now just beaming into these windows. Just to give you an idea of how much natural light flows into this house. And one of the greatest features about this house is the north and basically the east and west exposure. You always get daylight all day long, no matter what time it is. So the kitchen itself flows right into this beautiful great room. Your ceiling fan that's controlled by Wi-Fi. The hardwood floors that flow throughout. This is wire brushed hardwood, and this is a white oak basically. So definitely something worth looking into. It's an engineered hardwood, and it's a very, very wide planks. Another Google buzzword. Bjork is the name of the manufacturer. Great thing about this space is this is an entertainer's delight. Why, you may ask, aside from the obvious, tons of room, tons of space. The idea here is this is your servery, so if you want to basically pour cocktails, have drinks, serving area, the idea is you put a cutting board across this and put basically your serving pieces all the way across. Or china, if you like to do formal dining, informal dining, it works either way. This area here has actually been built with the intent of a future built-in coffee maker. So the idea is you get up in the morning, flick your lights on, make your coffee, you're out the door basically. Sink is here for convenience. You can never have too many sinks. And the great thing about having 2 sinks in a kitchen is 2 cooks can cook at the same time or prep at the same time. One person does prep, the other does cleanup. So you can never have too many of those. Beverage center for basically chilling, not just wines, but anything at all. If you want to throw soda in there, I won't tell what you put in your fridge at home, you should kind of get the idea. And the cabinetry itself, again, to look like a piece of furniture, in the kitchen we saw the full extension soft close. Here we have something called dovetail. You see basically the maple dovetail furniture. So this really speaks to the quality of the finishes and the furniture in this house. And of course, naturally, soft close. Oak, applied moldings, glass doors, you name it. The list just goes on and on because there's a lot of quality of finishes and details that was put into this home. Office space, basically, for those people who work from home. And here, another signature piece to this home is, again, this house is very architecturally unique. Having your glass railing, basically frameless glass, to basically really emphasize the clean lines of the staircase. The steps themselves were actually finished offsite in a factory. The idea was to basically have possible. And you'll see that the home itself generally just has basically this beautiful sort of flow. It just flows from one room to another. Here you have the primary bedroom. And you're totally gonna love what's hiding behind this wall. So as you see, the bed is actually in the center of the room. And the concept here is you have your bed and you have basically 2 ways of getting into sort of your walk-through closet on the backside. And one of the cool things about this closet, I'm just going to show you from here. So in this closet, there's some cabinetry in the distance where there's lighting at the toe kick and lighting above. So by flicking this switch, say for instance, somebody's sleeping at night, and you don't want to disturb your partner or whoever is basically on a different shift. So the idea is with this, is you can literally turn your night light on and off without having to disturb the other. So if you're on opposite working shifts or you need to get something really, really early in the morning as you're getting ready to go for work, the last thing you want to do is disturb the other person who may still be sleeping in. Little details like this that basically make all the difference. Cool thing about this is a multi-purpose area. It can be used for anybody who wants to put their makeup on. If somebody wants to basically have their, any cosmetics, colognes, perfumes, that sort of idea. One of the things that the design intent here was with the laundry room also on the same floor as this house. We have basically your hampers, and we have basically what can be used as sort of a folding area. And the cool thing about the hamper is you literally can lift this out, carry this over to the washing machine. Your clothing is pre-sorted. Drop your clothes into basically the washer, come back, do your thing. This is a cool thing. So you lay all your clothes out here in terms of doing your folding and everything, and as you're ready to put all your clothes away, you basically open up everything and you can literally stand here, fold, without even moving from a spot, basically put away your underwears, your socks, and literally everything just goes in. So the great thing about this is all about efficiency and aesthetics. Check this out. Who wouldn't want to have basically every little gadget you can think of in terms of all sorts of pullouts? There are those little things that everybody always loves to have in their closets. Floor-to-ceiling mirrors in terms of being able to see yourself in a full-length mirror. Can't say enough about that. The bedroom itself leads into the primary ensuite itself. And this is a really cool space. So you have these barn doors. You'll see these throughout the house itself. And the concept with working on this space here was we wanted to come up up with the idea of a spa. Now, everybody always talks about spa, but to sort of elaborate on that in terms of, some of the convenience features. In the shower stall itself, we have a linear drain. Now, beautiful to look at, but one of the great features of a linear drain, and it's one of those things you don't really think about until you try it out. So when you're standing in the middle of your shower, the shower slopes to the center of it. The great thing about a linear drain is the shower slopes one way, so it makes it feel like you're actually almost standing on a flat surface. You don't have that sort of sloped effect. So that's really nice on the feet. And the cool thing about this shower is this is designed where two people can shower at once. So you can actually, if you look at the valve in the distance, if you turn it at 12 o'clock, both will come on. If you turn it at 3 o'clock, the rain shower head comes on. It gives you sort of more of a therapeutic sort of feel. You take your teak bench, slide it underneath, and there's no better feeling in the world than having water just sort of basically gracefully drip all over you. Until you try it, you gotta try it, that's all I'll say. And then of course you have the shower head on the left. If you're in a hurry, you just want to shower and get out of here, or two can shower. I mean, when you look at the size of that thing, it's a huge shower nonetheless. The bathroom itself, so aside from the soaker tub that allows you to basically relax, kick off your shoes and just take a nice soak in there. There's a lot of other cool features in this bathroom as well. You have your bidet for convenience, which quite frankly, I'm pretty sure during the height of the pandemic was a total lifesaver, as everybody knew about the panic buying of toilet paper, but we're not going to go there right now. One of the cool features too with this vanity is when you look at this drawer, so here you have a pull-out. There's a hole cut out in terms of a grommet for like a hair dryer. You've got basically a USB charger, if you have any cell phones, and also chargers if you have an electric toothbrush, which is what most people have nowadays. The vanity, which is pretty typical, you have your soft closed drawers. The nice thing too about this is you have your tip downs. So if you're looking for a place to put your comb, brush, toothbrush, great thing about this is they both do this. And here's a really, really cool feature that most people don't think about putting in a bathroom. And there is actually one of these in the kitchen as well. If you look way, way under here, there's a vac pan, just like you would find in most kitchens. The great thing about this is a marriage saver, as I like to call it. Why? Because if one person is basically grooming themselves, usually tends to be the husband over the wife, but hey, could be husband, wife, you get the idea. But at least with this is if you're grooming yourself, falls all over the floor, you just sweep it up into the dustpan. Hence why I call it a marriage saver. If there's any questions at all that anybody has, please by all means reach out to Sue and I, as we would love to address any questions anybody may have, and we'd love for you to come and see the house at any time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, I'm going to say goodbye and get ready for the open house that's about to start. So I hope you enjoyed the tour with Paul. What a beautiful home. If you have any questions, you want to have a personal tour, please don't hesitate to reach out. Look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.